Now, I want to preface this by saying that we've entered into a new territory of customs that I'd argue accelerates us further into having a whole ecosystem of products. Now, I know that sounds like a whole word salad, right? But I guess what I'm trying to say is that we've gotten so many minifigures from producers like GCC that fill in the gaps of coverage for things like whole characters, from absent minifigures in LEGO's official lineup like Commander Wolf and some of the named 501st, to a properly overhauled Commander Fox and Captain Rex, all the way down to the countless amounts of Jedi, central character outfits, and even replacers to create more variety in hybridizing official and custom parts. But what we haven't seen yet is a producer who can properly make custom blasters for a minifigure that don't look, I don't know, tacky, overmolded, or just out of place. Like, yeah, there are dozens of products like this on paper, but in my mind, it's important for custom LEGO elements to at least be adjacent to the design consistency of official LEGO. In my mind, the point of customs isn't to stand out sorely or to have something that LEGO wouldn't even consider producing. That includes some obvious concerns like obnoxious design cues of 360 printing, overmolding elements, and using elements that LEGO probably wouldn't even produce, or even using too wide of a range of colors. It defeats the purpose of investing time into cultivating a portfolio of minifigures if all of them appear out of place, unofficial, or nearly knockoff-esque. That isn't to say that there isn't room for being creative, which is why I wanted to introduce Melnik Edits and Grandpa Clone Customs MG Blaster Series 1. This is a collection of blasters that were specifically designed by Melnik and molded by GCC. There are 9 total blasters that match up to different factions and eras of Star Wars. I've got to say, just when I thought there really wasn't much to innovate on when it comes to accessories and other adjacent custom products, we're hit with a completely new take on how blaster accessories should be done. I don't want to get too far into the details about which faction uses which blaster, because honestly, we're going to be here all day, and I'm also not mentally ill enough, nor do I hate myself enough to pretend that I actually know anything about these blasters in canon. Because, oh my god, they are all black with a vague gun shape outline. This one has a scope, this one doesn't, this one is long, but this one is also long too. Like, there's just a massive amount of context you need to care about the exact specifics of this type of product. All I know is these ones are used by Imperials and Stormtroopers, these are used by Rebels, and these are standard for droids and clones. Now that we've got that part out of the way, let me actually talk about why I like these blasters from more of a LEGO fan perspective than someone who is deeply enriched in the lore of Star Wars, or whatever. I've always been a fan of LEGO Star Wars more than Star Wars itself, and with that, I've always wondered why LEGO has had such a limited portfolio of blasters, so much so to the point that some of them kinda don't really look at all like the ones depicted in Star Wars media. These are especially important for blasters like the DC-17 or the SE-14, which have super unmistakable design cues. The A280 just looks like a more well-detailed version of LEGO's nondescript long blaster rifle, while the DC-15 looks like something that a heavy infantry trooper would use. Same goes for other elements of the MG Blaster series, like the DC-15S or the E11, which just feels like a scoped and unscoped version of LEGO's short blaster rifle because of the vague and ambiguous nature of the MG Blaster's design. It dances that border of looking both like a LEGO element and being intuitively designed like a custom with smart design cues. Speaking of that, I wanted to magnify the focus on the clone blasters here because they are undoubtedly the most popular blasters from the MG series. There are a lot of clutch points where the minifigures can hold the DC-15, from the grip, the shorter end of the stock, reverse side of the grip, as well as the barrel and underbarrel. There is a lot less articulation on standard LEGO blasters, and I feel that's where the official accessory hits its limit, and where the MG blasters end up being a critical accessory. However, my favorite blaster by far is the DC-17, as it carries the most improvements out of the blasters that aim to replace the LEGO ones. There's a lot of posability, especially from more passive movements like handing over weapons, which are at clutch or grip points that the generic pistols don't have. The last thing I should really mention is the overall quality and durability of these blasters. So I know a lot of custom blasters sort of suffer from this quality control issue where the plastic doesn't feel like the polished and soft LEGO ABS texture, but the MG blasters do genuinely feel like an official LEGO piece with a surface polish. Some of the rifles, however, do have a rough sprue mark that's left over from the ejection injection molding process. It isn't every unit, but I can definitely feel it on a few of them. The clutch power is actually ridiculously good, as these were designed and prototyped rigorously with the concern of matching the diameter of a Lego minifig hand for the sake of not damaging the figure or having a very poor clutch power. Either way, no matter how I spin this, these blasters are only about $7 for a 10-pack per type, so it's really not all that much of a commitment. If anything, I'd recommend giving all the clone blasters a try, especially the DC-17 pistol and the DC-15 rifle. If you want to get a hold of these blasters, there's a wide range of official GCC resellers like LF Minifigs, Caledonian Clones, Tom the Builder, as well as Bricks and Figs DE, which all will either have these clone blasters restocked or at least in stock already. This isn't really a one and done type thing. These blasters are going to be a reoccurring item that'll be restocked often enough that you'll be able to get a hold of them pretty easily. I want to end this off by saying that I think as a company, GCC has been innovating a lot with both working around the limitations of LEGO in their restrictive part catalog and the overwhelmingly creatively bankrupt custom producers that don't have the agency to follow through and properly execute a new type of product. I think it's a sign that we're living in a healthy economy when custom producers are constantly trying to capture the attention of both new audiences and the existing fan base by one-upping each other with the innovative ideas like the MG blasters. I think what a lot of these producers overlook is specifically capturing the attention of new customers. You can lead people into the customs fan base by introducing them to starter products that don't cost very much. The MG blasters, as well as some of the other low-priced products by GCC, do exactly that. The difference though is that there is such a high quantity of blasters that the product becomes sort of evergreen, meaning that they're always going to be in stock or come back around. With arm replacers, torso replacers, and cloth accessories, it almost feels like those end up being a seasonal or inconsistently stocked product. So there's a lot less room for people like me to introduce you to a new set of products and get your foot into the door of customs. Anyway, this video was really important to me, so I wanted to take a moment to thank GCC for making this video possible. If you want the MG blasters, I'll have a link in the description, sorted by region for which retailers will be carrying them. As always, if you'd like to support the channel, consider purchasing these products with my affiliate code BrickFleet on Bricks and Figs DE, as well as on Tom the Builder store.